back to Bangadang Farm. It's already been a busy start to 2024, so let's recap some of the things that have happened this month. We originally sought our Ryland sheep from over east who travelled here with a flock of Dorset Downs for another owner. These are both rare breed sheep and we have decided to keep all of them since the Dorset Downs were for sale. We met with the head of the WA Heritage Sheep Committee to discuss the next stages to prepare our flock for breeding and shows. Once we complete the paperwork, our sheep will be registered under the Australian Stud Sheep Breeder Association. We are trying to train them with food so they are friendlier with humans, but our goats are really getting in our way, headbutting them for the food. Luckily the goats are familiar with collars, so we'll see how they go being tied up at feeding time. Over on the dams, we started harvesting the marron out of some to relocate them to other dams to create 2 empty dams for more juveniles. During this process, it is a test run to find an effective way to harvest the marron in large quantities and collect data on their sizes and quantities. We've also received more pallets and nets from overseas to put into our dams as marron infrastructure. On land, we continue to trim and care for the nursery trees. We have been spraying Multicraft's organic foliar spray on them and leaving half a dozen unsprayed to compare the growth of the trees from saplings. This is part of our efforts to transition to organic farming, and we are closely monitoring these new trees as they grow. Down at the food forest, we continued adding more nets over the trees to trial a new pest protection method. They've been on the trees for a few weeks now and they seem to be doing a really good job. The trees don't look suffocated by the net, and the pests such as birds and kangaroos haven't been getting under them to the fruit. We follow a few simple steps to keep the trees in a healthy state. Prune the tree so it stays at a manageable size inside the net. Keep picking the fruit so they don't weigh down the branches and we waste as little fruit as possible. And water the trees with irrigation by drip lines or sprinkler nozzles to keep them fed throughout the hot months. We then take the fruit from the forest and process it into many different forms. Dried fruit straps, jams and paste, juices, stewed fruits and ice cream. Brian, our beekeeper, has been busy harvesting our honey. We have 150 kilos so far and hope another 100 kilos will come off the hives over the remainder of the season. As the flowers bloom throughout the seasons, the bees create different types of honey by what they have captured. So on our farm, we have a red gum spring blend. This includes mostly marrow, which we can see blossoming across the farm. Lastly and most importantly, we had our annual fire and first aid checks. Here in our local area, the Shire can put movement bans across the paddocks, which means limiting the operation of machinery, vehicles and equipment which could cause a fire in the dry grass and bush. Bushfires are a large threat to farms at this time of year. Last year there were devastating fires surrounding Bangadang, so we are always prepared to act quickly. We'll be back next month with a new update. Make sure to subscribe to follow us on our journey and check out our Instagram for weekly updates. It's just @Bangadang Farm.